Hello, it's round 4, and for the first time in EWS history, we're going to give you 2 countries for the price of 1. Round 4 then, and hasn't it come round quickly? Once racing's over at the end of this weekend, we will have reached the halfway point of our season. This race is set to be a 2-day affair contested over 6 fast and furious mountain stages. So how have we managed this act of geographical sorcery? Well, we're right on the border, and both days we'll see the first 2 stages contested in Slovenia before the racers liaison back across to finish them in Austria. Right then, as ever, that is enough talk. Let's get straight down to stage 1 and start the action.
Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. It's popping, no stopping. Standing on the stage, got the whole place watching. Vacation, hotel hopping. Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. Worldwide on the scene, everybody know me, main event everywhere, and I'm big still, 'cause I'm a big guy.
It was really flat and physical, like really weird to push so hard, but I don't have a lot of strength in my legs today. I smashed my leg yesterday during training.
Maybe it wasn't as fast as it could have been, but I just want a solid day.
Cecilia Ravenel got straight into the swing of things on stage 1 with a win ahead of Katie Winton and Melanie Pujan. In the men's race, Belgium's Martin Mays was in no mood for hanging around and went fastest. Damien Otton was second and Florian Nicolai was third. The weather was warmer compared to the rain of practice, but it did a little to brighten up the brutal test which lay ahead on stage 2. This weekend we're being hosted by the Black Hole Bike Festival, and if that sounds slightly ominous, it's because it kind of is. This area along the Austro-Slovenian border is famous for its mining, but we will be digging a little deeper into that later on. Believe it or not, this is the first time on the calendar for both countries, and they are keen to prove that they can cut up with the mountain biking big boys. And it's set to be a tough debut too, with over 96 kilometres in race distance and over 5,000 vertical metres of descending. Stage 2 is the jungle, and although far from massive, at 2.54 kilometres in length, it is one of the most arduous in the race. The third stage is one of the jewels in the crown, the new EWS trail in Petzen. Day 2 kicks off in Slovenia with a flow and loam fest on stage 4. Stage 5 is called Lost Goat and is comfortably the shortest of the weekend at 1.8 kilometres. And then after that, it's back across the border again into Austria and the mammoth 6 kilometre long Thriller. But perhaps one of the biggest challenges will be the sheer length of all those brutal liaisons. Now ask any EWS aficionado and they'll probably tell you the biggest news story from last season was Sam Hill winning the overall title. Dig a bit deeper, however, and one of the big stories was the fact that Richie Rude, the back-to-back champion in 2015 and 2016, didn't win a race. At the last round in Olargua, France, the champ was back, however, and we saw him riding at his very best. Well, Richie Rude is currently off the overall slate, back in 12th position, but the big news is that Adrian Day, one of the big contenders last season, is out with a broken elbow, sustained in between the rounds. Cecilia Ravenel, perfection as always, leads the women's race, having yet to lose a race in 2018. Isabel Corderia is securing her slot as best of the rest, and you get the feeling that if anybody's going to challenge Cecile, then it's going to come from her fellow Frenchwoman. And with that, let's head back to the action on stage 2. Stage 2, steep top section led into a flatter, wetter lower half, which then wound its way along a riverbed.
That was as chaotic as it gets. I lost my shoe buckle and then my bars were bent. Just wait for Ready for a tough day.
Stayed on my bike for that one, that was good. Wild ride though, man, those routes are just slimy.
Yeah, everything is okay, but slippery routine.
I was okay until the last wood section where I rode most of that on my balls. Other than that, it was okay, just super physical. I'm glad to get these two out of the way and go over to Petzen and get the fun started. To me, that's not enduro, it is suffering. No fun on the bike. Try to stay focused and keep the motivation high, which is hard here.
I think these first two are probably the most physical, deadly stages, so if I can stay in touch or somewhere thereabouts and look forward to the rest of them.
Without a doubt, the second stage was for many the toughest of the weekend. And as we've seen in the past, that's all the excuse Sam Hill seems to need to put some serious time into the competition. Meanwhile, in the women's, Melanie Pujan was on the move and was now sat 14 seconds behind Cecile Ravenel in second. Katie Winton, however, was in trouble. A 20th on the stage after some horrible crashes saw her plummet in the overall standings. The newly opened EWS trail was the third of the day and easily its longest, dropping over 1,000 metres in gradient.
Yeah, probably one of the tougher days. Still have to play for it, anything can happen, so we're not over yet.
Well, it was quite a long day on the saddle, like we ride for hours on the transfer. It was really long, but the final one was really, really nice. Yeah, I'm quite happy to be on the podium tonight. I hope I can hold on tomorrow.
Lost 10 seconds on the last stage of today, which was third place. Get some good points, that's the main goal of the weekend. I've got to say, stages 1 and 2 were definitely not on my bucket list stages to race, but somehow I pulled it out of the bag, and then I'm learning this enduro stuff, so I played it cool, calm, collected in that last one, and it paid off.
Cecile set about stage 3 with a passion and won the stage by over 40 seconds. Her overnight lead ahead of Isabelle Corderia was now comfortably over a minute and a half. A decent battle was shaping up behind the leaders as Casey Brown and Melanie Pujan were slugging it out for third. Sam Hill finished today with a narrow win, just 0.4 of a second ahead of Eddie Masters, whilst local hero Vid Persak was a further 0.3 back with a sensational ride which delighted the home fans. Hill's lead was now a slender 9.8 seconds from Mays, with a torturous 45 kilometres of racing awaiting the riders in the morning. Day 2 started with a rider favourite on the perfectly cultivated loamy turns of the ridge.
I just wanna know something new about you. New about you.
You're like floating, it's like riding in the clouds, and every corner has like a hole that you're coming in and out of it. It's just insane.
New about you.
I had a little crash on the top, just way more roots sticking out now.
That's that one. It's redemption is never ending at the moment.
Tell me something new.
Behind Cecile, so it's very good for me. I am amateur. My goal is a podium today.
Could be something old, could be something.
I don't like very much this kind of trail. I don't feel really the flow.
About you. I just wanna know something. I just wanna know something new about you.
Last stage was awesome. No man, I'm enjoying here. You know, it's even better with the crowd out there, and they are cheering and they are firing me up.
Yeah, right. I just wanna know something new about you. I just wanna know something new about you. Something new about you.
I felt really good on the stage. Didn't make any mistake. We'll see when Sam crossed the finish line as well.
And that wait turned out to be worthwhile. Hill had sustained an ankle injury in the last test of day one, and if it was a genuine weakness, then Mays pounced on it and took 7 seconds from the Aussie on stage 4. The race was now on. Uncharacteristically, Cecilia Ravenel dropped the stage win, with victory going to Isabel Corderier. That win provided some useful breathing space between her and Pujan. And after stage 4, it was time for yet another EWS first in 2018. A 25-minute liaison through a mine shaft. Stage 5, also known as Lost Goat, was to be the shortest of the race and featured the smallest vertical drop of day 2.
I know what happened, just my front tire slipped. It's a pretty short stage and it's quite some downhill, so I think I lost some, but yeah, it happens.
I'm just trying to enjoy myself, and I'm enjoying myself.
Little crash on the top. Better than the other stage. More funny, you know, more fast and with many lines, and I prefer.
You know, I'm not holding back. Just want to get that win, and you know, I got to keep pushing for it. A lot better. Felt like I attacked. So
it's a big long stage now. I mean, what, 15 or so minutes do you reckon?
14 for me.
14?
No, I don't know. It's going to be long.
If stage 4 had seen Cecilia Ravenel caught unawares, then stage 5 saw her back to her scintillating best. Her lead had now gone out to over 1 minute and 40 seconds. In the men's race, Trek's Rory Cunningham came third on the stage and was clearly having a good day. Hill's lead in the overall was cut again to a now tentative 1.6 seconds. Could the champ hold on, or was May's wait for a second ever EWS victory set to continue? It was all to play for as it began the lengthy liaison back to Petzen. The thriller looks set to deliver.
chain reaction cycles. Mavic 5 pairs have been...
Martin Mays crossed the line at the bottom of stage 6, having thrown everything at it in his final bid to secure the win. But put Sam Hill under pressure, and it only seems to bring out the very best in him. The champ found nearly 9 seconds on the Belgian on stage 6 to lock up his 3rd win of the season. And not that we're keeping count, but he went 2 seconds quicker than he predicted at the end of stage 6. Robin Wallner secured a 3rd place finish ahead of the impressive Cunningham. Vede Persac was welcomed home in a credible 5th place. In the women's race, Cecile Ravenel took her 5th stage of the weekend by some margin to win the race by 2.5 minutes from Isabel Corderia. Casey Brown secured a podium appearance with a final stage push. Ines Toma was 5th, whilst Katie Winton pulled it all together to finish an impressive 6th place after her troubles on day 1. Doing more EWS this season, will we see on the enduro bike again?
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back later in the season.
Big distances this weekend as well. How did you find that?
You know, I had my music speaker in my bum bag and I cruised. It was fine. It was just like listen to a playlist, and it attracts a certain crowd too. Like people hang out. It's a party out there. It wasn't bad at all.
I kind of settled in with the thought of maybe 4th or 5th going up for the last stage, but I sort of knew in the back of my head that it was like the main stage of the day.
Pulled out some good points on Damien in the overall as well.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. 2 podiums in a year is good enough for me.
You hurt yourself early on the weekend in practice, so another race you've had to ride through the pain barrier really.
Yeah, I hope it won't be the same in La Tuile. I'm quite tired of enjoying myself during the practice. I was looking for the overall to save some points, and I'm really happy to be second tonight.
Cecile, another race, another win. You must be really happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. It was a really tough weekend. After the practice, I say, oh my god, it's impossible for me to finish this race because my training is not the best. I did more downhill than enduro.
It's the halfway point of the year. You've yet to lose a race. At what point are we allowed to start talking about the perfect season?
In Finale Liqueur.
Okay, that'll do. Yeah, we'll see you there then.
Yeah, okay, see you there.
Martin's 2nd place today. Happy with that?
Another 2nd place. I think it's my 8th 2nd place. It's a bit disappointing. I was really going for the win. No, I was feeling fast. I couldn't have gone any faster. So that's what I mean. He totally deserved it, and he's a champion.
Tough battle and race with Martin Mays. Yeah, really happy to put it all together on the last stage and come away with the win. I tried not to rush it and just carry speed, and I don't know, I feel good on the long ones like that, so I felt confident.
Back at the start of this year, presumably you'd have bitten someone's hand off for 3 wins out of 4 at the halfway point. Looking forward to the second half of the year?
Yeah, definitely. I think all the venues we've got coming up for the rest of the season are going to be really good. 3 wins out of 4 races, couldn't ask for much more.
And so at the halfway point of the season, the championship looks like this. Sam Hill leads the men's courtesy of that trio of wins. Robin Wallner and Damien Auton remain locked together in 2nd, whilst Martin Mays continues to recoup points after that DNF in Colombia. Winning 4 races in a row will tend to do wonders for your championship aspirations, and Cecile Ravenel is sitting pretty at the top of the charts with a flawless 1,600 points. Isabel Corderia is yet to finish lower than 2nd, whilst Katie Winton's salvage points help to keep her in 3rd. Canyon Factory Enduro team maintain their steely grip of the team's championship ahead of Ibis Cycles Enduro race team. Whilst for the first time in 2018, Chain Reaction Cycles Mavic are now up into the top 3. And so there we have it then. At the end of racing at round 4, we have reached the halfway point of our season, and what better way to celebrate that than with a pair of wins from Cecile Ravenel and Sam Hill. Cecile is still perfect for the year, and Sam has won 3 out of 4 rounds. Can anyone stop them in the second half of the season? Tune in next time from La Tuile, Italy to find out.